Greetings everyone, here we are with another delightful video. This time it's me doing a fresh unboxing of the starter box for What's Old is New role-playing system from EN Publishing. I kind of off the bat forgot what the MSRP was for this. I don't think it was terribly high. It is in the format size box for EN Publishing. They usually use thinner starter boxes than most other companies. It's usually about half the height, which I personally approve of because it saves more space on the shelf and it results in less waste cardboard inside. Wizards of the Coast likes to sell really big boxes that have like half empty and are filled up with packing cardboard. So here we go. Let's read the back. This starter box for What's Old is New role-playing game system contains everything you need to start playing heroic fantasy, explosive modern action, and futuristic sci-fi adventures with 3 introductory adventures, pre-made characters, tokens, poster maps, dice, and full rulebook. You'll end up and playing in no time at all. Discover Woin's rules such as attribute checks, combat, magic, psionics, chi, and a selection of equipment from each genre, and nearly 40 monsters and foes. Adventure into fantasy with Dilemma and Decay. Fight vampires in Habits and Happenstance, and investigate a distress signal in the Silence of Zephdon Station. Each adventure demonstrates a different gear or genre of play, and each comes with 6 pre-made characters: the Grey Fellowship, the Alpha Squad, and the crew of Starship Murphy. Welcome to Woin. So there we go. So, as I said, it's thin box. Get the scary knife out. Plunge into corner of box. Slit down side. Slit down side. Slit down. You know what? I want to do this way. So there we go. Lift off top. The inside is untreated cardboard, so if this is used as a dice tray, a little moisture is going to damage this very easily. First and foremost, what we open up to is the dice and the tokens for the adventure. I do heavily approve of inclusion of tokens over minis or pawns. Tokens lay flat on the table. Of the 3 options, they're the cheapest, the easiest to store, and the least intrusive to play with. As I said, they lay flat on the table so you can see past them if you have like terrain or something like that. So it is really nice. You can also get a nice variety, and they're flippable. So if they design the tokens with two different designs on 2 different sides, you have then in that case double the characters. Or if you use a background, if they design them with backgrounds on them, like one background that's red and one background that's green, then you might actually have a situation where you could use one as half max health, or full above half and below half. So we have two different token sheets. They have this nice little cutout corner in the corner, so they're easy to pull out of a box. So there you go. Let's get the lighting. You have standard size ones, and then you have these ones, which are also the same standard size ones, plus 2 large creatures for your adventures. It comes with a set of D6s. This is a D6 system. If I remember correctly, it's a dice pool system. I have not played this system. I have not ran it for anyone. So My knowledge of the system is relatively limited. However, from my personal opinion of this very starter box, I do actually like it a lot, as they're already off to a good start with a lot of their inclusions on items. I like the tokens. The tokens are a nice bonus that helps with the game mastering of the game. You get some dice, which is pretty standard with any starter set, box, core box set, or etc. And then we have the first set of adventures. We got Dilemmas and Decay, which is a nice D&D a nice D&D reference in itself. This is the fantasy adventure. This is Habits and Happenstance, which is the modern day adventure. And this is Silence of Zephdon Station, which is the sci-fi adventure. Right here we have the core rulebook for the system. This is a glue-bound back book, which is not bad at all as far as a book is concerned. It has the same artwork and blurb on the back as the box, and has the same general theme as the front of the box. It has a nice textured surface. From personal experience, this type of treatment on this surface is actually anti-water treatment surface, so it will probably take a little moisture pretty well, but not drenching. You have a decent table of contents that has an introduction and the key points on the introduction, core rules, fighting, tracking, searching, and scanning, countdowns, supernatural powers such as PowerPoints, magic, theme, casting, psionics, and chi, equipment, fantasy gear, modern gear, and sci-fi gear, and you have a bestiary, special abilities, and monsters A to Z. This is a off-white background with a slight speckling on it. The text on the page is actually fairly bold and a dark black, which is excellent in itself. You have this nice little blurb box with a little black diamonds in it to break up the box, which is actually quite nice, as that makes it really easy to track for someone with ADHD where they are on the page. They explain the system. They explain what is medieval fantasy, modern action, and futuristic sci-fi. Incidentally, medieval fantasy, modern action are two defining sets of terms. Medieval is a past, modern is present, and then you have fantasy, which is fantastical and whimsical environment, and you have action, which is a description of action, or it's not an adventure, it's not simply a casual kind of thing, it's not a racing game, it's more of a genre term. But when you come to the term futuristic sci-fi, both of them are fundamentally the same thing. Future is in the future, sci-fi is related to technology in the future. So futuristic is also futuristic is also of the setting of the future, so that you have that weird redundancy there. You got a little mention of the game master, what you need to know, and then you have a nice little example of play between various characters in the game, as well as the game master. You have the essential core rules of the system. I do like the fact that they change up the colors of the boxes, so it's easier to mentally track and remember what's inside of a box, as it adds more contextual cues as to where something is. So if you have to go ahead and look something up in the book again, you have something that you have an extra detail that you can use to mentally reference the point in which you found that piece of information in it. So opposed rolls, rules of luck, equipment and attribute checks. You have a little section on fighting. It, from what I can tell overall, it is actually a fairly, it's not a overly heavy in lore kind of writing, like it was written by someone who wanted to be a novelist for a story or something, but someone who is more or less fundamentally aware of the need to be clear with mechanics. Here's actually a list up here of here's some examples of actions. Your move your speed, 1 action. Fire a weapon, 1 action. Make a melee attack, 1 blah. Move your speed, 1 action. Fire a weapon, 1 action. Make a melee attack, 1 action. Emergency healing, 2 actions. Aim or feint, 1 action. Cast a spell, 1 action. Pick a lock, 2 actions. Hack a terminal, 2 actions. Draw or store a weapon, free action. Drop to prone or crouch, also is free. They talk about area of effects with your attacks and weaponry. If you're casting spells or you're firing off a shotgun or something like that, that is actually very useful. They have some neat terms like here: aiming, feinting, and focus, overwatch, suppressive fire, and burst, cone, flanking information, higher ground. There's actually a modifier for having higher ground. Cover, flanking here again. Actually references what's old and new, range, higher ground, over cover, and flanking. You got flanking rules right here. You got other modifier information right here. Looks like it's fairly thorough in its structure, but it's not so overly complicated that it would result in people getting confused or lost. This book is only 69 pages, so that's actually kind of nice. 69 pages. Okay, yeah. Okay, you got a little information on called shots. The fact that it's only 69 pages long means that it's not going to take terribly long to find what you want. You can like put a bookmark in something. Like here's the page on damage, first aid rules, soaking and vulnerability, conditions, and tracking and searching and scanning. Supernatural power information, some examples, spell statistics, and more. You got what appears to be a spellcaster, someone with psionics, and more. You got a good amount of artwork, and still yet again with the nice little boxes here and there to break up the visual track of the eye. Just enough that you don't suffer from a sudden acute ADHD and lose track or of where you were, because you know you were in a box or after the box. You have some nice handy dandy equipment. This is, I think, the first section of the equipment is for the fantasy gear, as I said before. Then you have a modern set. And then you have futuristic or sci-fi gear back here. It's not terribly long of a selection for various items in each genre. So this might be a situation where you might need more another book to expand out your options on each one. This is the problem sometimes with a system that tries to do many different things, where when it makes a book, it has to have stuff of each category in it, like the core book or something like that, and that results in not having a large selection in any one category. So you might only have like 5 or 6 weapons or items for one thing, another 5 or 6 items for another genre, another 5 or 6 items for another genre, and so forth. And you don't really have the range of being creative. If you happen to have a group of people who want to play, like 5 or 6 people, they end up having to create a bunch of characters that are really similar in loadouts. So you end up with that issue as well, because you end up with a lack of personality in the characters. Because there's not a whole lot of options for people to load out their characters, to come up with a theme, or load them out to a theme that they want. So they had to do a lot of reflavoring. This is the bestiary section, which is like right to the point. It explains the mechanics. The stat blocks are actually, as I said before, this is a 2d6 system. So you have your strength, agility, endurance, intelligence, logic, will, charisma, luck. I can't remember what rep means, and POW. It's all in 2d6s. So you have a 2d6 to your this guy has a 2d6 to his strength. His agility has a 3d6 and so forth. As what I can tell, there's initiative here, which is 4d6, and perception, which is another 4d6. This is a fairly simple system that is actually rather evident as to what they're trying to go with in the mechanics. And I actually really do like that. Sometimes you get systems that have so many layers that you have to read the system front to back a few times just to actually put all the pieces together to just get an idea of where to start in the system. And then you have systems like this one where you can easily just look at the mechanics, just read a few little bits in the book, and then like, oh, I understand exactly what this is. Obviously, I'm thinking that 5d6 is better than 2d6. This bear has 5d6 for his strength and 2d6 for his agility, and happens to have 2d6 for intelligence. So my guess is that the more d6s you have, the better off you are. You have a battle psyker or a battle psyche. You got a blast drone, a blaster turret here, bounty hunter, carnivorous plant. Carnivorous plant is pretty cool. I do like the artwork. It's actually pretty nice artwork. The bounty hunter doesn't really look like a bounty hunter. Looks like more like a modern day shinobi. You got a cleric here, a commoner / civilian, a crocodile, an ent, a ghost, a ghoul. The art style kind of varies from creature to creature a little bit. A goblin archer, a guard / militia, hill giant, industrial robot. I would think industrial robot would have more than 3d6 for strength. Particularly since this knight has 4d6. You have a medic, a lizard folk bog hag, a minotaur, a mountain troll, a scout, and a sentry drone. Sentry drone only has 3d6 strength, but it does have 66 endurance. And yeah, you got a skeleton, a soldier to choose from as for monsters or enemies. You got a cyber construct, which I guess is just a human that was taken, who had synthetic components added to them, and then the components took over the human, which is a scary situation. You got a swamp drake, a thief, a thug, a vampire. I do not know what this number is right here. It seems to change from creature to creature. I'm presuming that the higher the number, or the stronger the creature is. A veteran, a wizard, a wolf, a woodland creature, which is basically just a raccoon, a xenomorph. I don't think they exactly own the rights to a xenomorph in this. No, they don't. And then you have a zombie. That looks really close to a xenomorph, and I think Free League has the rights to the IP currently for Alien role-playing game. So that's actually a fairly nice book. I do like it. The rules seem to be very well organized and to the point. However, I'm going to have to read through them in more detail to get a deeper understanding. There happens to be also here 3 different maps The maps seem to be made of high quality paper that has it's not a glossy map. You have a generic footprint of a building on a square grid, and then a region of the world on a hex grid map. The hexes are, as you can probably see, are somewhat visible. Then you have a train, looks like a train depot or something, on a square map, as well as an inside of a train depot on another square map. And then I think this is the sci-fi one. This is possibly a space station or a spaceship on a square map. And then you have a generic room on metal on a square map. So that's kind of neat. And then right back here is, as just like before, just like in the starter kit, there happens to be character sheets. However, they are, yet again, just like in the starter kit, they're inside of a little booklet, a plastic pouch, which is actually rather nice. Sasha Boltanov. You got, those are actually, that's a fairly thick sheet and single-sided for a character. I do actually like that. A single sheet for a character. Exploits and traits: reckless, aim, dive for cover, stargazer, push the limits, fence, shiv, seat of your pants. She has brawling and laser pistol as actions. She has 4 soak, leather vest, health is 16, defense is a melee, range, mental, and vital. Melee has 14, ranged 14, mental 11, and vital 10. So if someone happens to know the system, they could probably read that and tell me exactly all the important details about her as a character. And just like the other one, there is Gorat, Dr. TikTok. Okay. Dr. TikTok. Ashnowen. Telic. Holmes. Ben Majors. Yet again, you kind of see that there's a change in the style of these. Andrew Vontus. Duke Roosevelt. Eternal Senpai. Lady Anarchy. Mac Marloni. You have Gimnor. Agatha Drake. Celine. Sir Mendelin. Marla. And Kroot. That is a lot of characters for this system. All the characters are fairly easy to read through. All the stuff for them. Obviously, this feels like this first one. The first pile was the sci-fi future one, and then the second group was more like the modern or near future group, and then the last one was the sci-fi section. So that was rather interesting. I don't see any Game Master screen in here, but it still has tokens. And everything is fairly clear on the character sheets. The character sheets are stylized. There are no customizable character sheets in this package. So you are kind of stuck with using these or taking them and putting them in a computer, scanning them into a computer, and then editing them to make new characters from them. So there. I wonder if there is a core rulebook for the system. So that's the core. That's the starter box rulebook. And then we have the 3 adventures: Dilemmas and Decay. Now let's look at the very front of this. We have a red border on this here. It's more old-timey font in here for the old text. You got an introduction: Veil of Two Ranges, By the Hook or By Crook, Evidence of Foul Magic, Bog Proper, Entering the Epic Center, Quest End, and Next Steps. You have a reference to the character sheets right here, and listing out all the little information you need to know, and all the characters that would be in this adventure. You have a nice little map right here that's referencing the big map that I showed you earlier. Various characters, a quick walkthrough of the adventure. Doesn't look like it's overly complicated. There's a scoring system in here. This looks like it's like in that territory of a one-shot territory, but it's hard to say. I have not ran the system. And then back here it gives you advice on continuing on the adventure after completing this. And then you have 2 other maps right back here in the very back of the book. That's neat. Habits and Happenstance. We have this red, black, and white theme. Green border. It lists out the characters that would be used in this adventure. The Alpha Squad. The art style has changed between from the previous adventure to this one for this mid modern action adventure. So it's clearly its own separate thing from the other one. And I'm quite sure in the very back it explains how to continue your adventure from this and the conclusion. And then let's see if they do the same thing again and change the border design. And yes, they did. They changed the border design. That's actually rather nice. It's very nice that they keep in a theme. They list out yet again the characters that you would need for this. The important information you might want to pull out as the game master. As I said, the character list right here for the selection. Still maintaining that nice feel of the theme, even in the border. Skip through here a little bit. Glance at this and that. Okay, that's rather all interesting stuff. Then we have a conclusion section. That's actually a rather long conclusion. Surprise ending options, and so forth. And then a section on continuing the adventure, sure, if you want to. So that's neat. Now this is rather interesting in itself. The system looks to be fairly simple, to the point. It does come. This box actually comes with a lot of good stuff in it. It's not fairly fat with unnecessary items in it, but it's also at the same time comes with all the things you necessarily need. My only thing is it would be nice if there was a Game Master screen specifically in this box. Just even a cheap one that was cardstock. That would be handy with all the basic rules for the Game Master to keep track of inside. That way the Game Master can hand the core rule, the basic rule book to the players, and the players can look up stuff as they need to go. Where the Game Master has the Game Master screen, but they don't have a little mini Game Master screen in this box. But still, it looks like it's a pretty well put together product. I do say this is probably in that 4-star territory. It's fairly small. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It comes with tokens. You have 3 different adventures that are for 3 different genres and eras. It comes with maps. It comes with a lot of character sheets, granting you a lot of options for people picking and choosing which one they want to play in each adventure. And it's not just the same type of character, just in 3 different eras. So that's cool in itself. So I kind of like that a lot. Got that upside down. I do that constantly, putting the lid on upside down. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely a 3.75, not a 3.75, a 4-star product. Not very many things they can do to improve this that would not result in the box having to get bigger. The fact that they have a box as small as possible for the starter set without having any like dead space inside of it is awesome, and not having the stuff spill out of the box terribly bad. This is, by the way, ages 14 plus for this box set. So I do if this is a system you truly want to try out, the starter kit is okay, but I would definitely say the starter box is the better option. It's a little more expensive, but you truly get what you need out of it. And the starter kit is possibly a nice little add-on to the box as a secondary source of information for people who need to reference rules and stuff like that, as well as a extra adventure you can run people right through right off the bat. So that's really cool. The starter kit, I think MSRP's I think it's currently at $19 on Amazon, and I think this is like in the 20s, like almost $30, like $29.95 or something, or $28 or something like that, maybe. So if I remember correctly, that it's still a pretty good deal. Even if this was like $34, this is actually a pretty good one right here. There are some that once you get past the $30 range on starter sets, you're starting to get in the pricey territory. Paizo is on the really expensive side for starter sets. For once you get to like $40 or more, you're starting to get into the price range of core rule books, and at that point, the starter box is just a convenience thing of having everything bundled together. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe. And if you have any advice about this system, if you've ever played this system, go ahead and throw that in the comments below. And if you have any more interest in this system, I have one other video of this system, which is the starter kit. A few weeks before this video comes out. So there you go. The next video should be the Game Master screen for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition 2024. And then Arcane Arts will be the next one after that. And then as you can see here, we got Transformers, the role-playing game, coming up soon on the starter box set pile. So there you go. If you want to see those videos, subscribe and hit the like on this video, and check out my other videos on my channel. And go ahead and check the community section for polls and information. Go ahead and vote on any polls you see there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month. And see you next time. Ciao.